Okie dokie. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way right quick. So, y'all see the title. It's a play on Mao Zedong's combat liberalism. And I think that as the United States continues to fall apart, we have to be careful of fetishism, contrarianism, and I should probably put this in the title too, but opportunism. The reason I say that is because it's easy to be like, yeah, we hate the United States. They hate everybody. They're fascists, this and that. I'm not going to sit here and argue about that. But to think that everybody else is going to be nice, it's a matter of opinion, you know? I think ultimately you have to be able to protect yourself and have enough leverage to be able to have your own self-interest, you know? Whether that's as a nation or whether that's as an individual, you know? The reason I say this is because, I think once again, people are going mask off. People are going mask off and they're just being like, yeah, I'm Chinese. I support what the Chinese are doing. Yeah, yeah. Thing is, though, is that you've been born and raised in the United States. And yeah, I know that China has a much more loose policy and they will accept, I can't think of the exact word offhand, but yeah, basically foreign born Chinese into China, you know. So yeah, I mean, well, once again, we're going to see that as things go along is that everyone is that as much as people talk about identity politics and it being bad, is that the reality is that everybody's going to kind of identify with who they need to, you know? And that leaves crackers in the United States out in the dust. It does. I know it. I see the writing on the wall. We all do. And I think that everybody kind of protects their own, and worst comes to worst, my peoples come first. I've repeated it over and over, but it's true. You know, Puerto Ricans are going to take care of their own. Mexicans are going to take care of their own. Vietnamese are going to take care of their own. Obviously, China and the Chinese are going to take care of their own wherever they are at in the world. Americans don't really understand that. Bit too, you either get the folks that are contrarian and just say, well, I'm ashamed to be white or this and that, or, they just want everything to collapse and, it's like, I've played that game too. Don't get me wrong. Being an edgelord, you have to realize is that you got to join somebody. You have to choose a side. And you don't like it. I know I'm not going to like it in the future. There's going to be folks I know there's going to be folks I'm going to go with that I don't agree with. Maybe they're stupid. Maybe they're arrogant. Whichever reason. But that's the side I'm going to have to join. Like I say, I'm more a mirror cinch because it's all I know. I can't really speak for, what goes on in Sweden, what goes on in, in Mexico, in Canada, Australia, wherever. They got their own struggles to deal with. That's just how it is. We have to be able to combat these things. This fetishism of, like, I love, the Palestinians. Oh, we just, oh, the poor Palestinians. Like, yeah. But the thing is, they should, instead of waiting for a bunch of honkies that really aren't going to do that much. And I know there's that one white girl that died in the 90s that was crushed by, I think, a Caterpillar vehicle. But anyway, it's like, look, in general, white folks back off the whole, save Palestine or, all this type of stuff. Because at the end of the day, they need to, the Palestinians need to work with the rest of the Arabic world. And it's going to take a long time. And it's going to take the right leaders and everything else, And it's really going to come down to who's really going to take charge. That's a whole different issue. But it's up to them, In Europe, we see, of course, the new prime minister coming into, or at least the new head of the CDU, the Christian Democratic Union. I think of his name now. Let me type it out here. Armin Laschet. That's his name, yeah. I know a lot of people have talked about it already. I'm going to talk about it as well. So I'm going to kind of go over the thing is, I've heard that he likes, he's North Rhine-West, I'll just say Westphalia. North Rhine-Westphalia's state premier and new leader of the Christian Democratic Union, Armin Laschet, has led Germany's federal government for the past 72 years. Holy crap. Laschet spent 6 years in Brussels. I was going to say Brazil. That'd be, ooh boy. Serving as MEP for the European People's Party, focused on foreign policy, international relations, and budget questions. Laschet sometimes criticized Merkel's government for not being ambitious enough regarding Europe. Today, the French President Macron is making proposals, but we are taking too long to respond. Foreign affairs is considered by some critics to be a Russlandwächter, a derogatory term for people who take a soft stance on Vladimir Putin's Russia. He said in 2019 that given dialogue between East and West was possible even when the Soviet Union existed. We've got to be able to do the same today. We need Russia for many issues in the world. He's right, yeah. He's also considered to have a soft line on China, as protecting German export industries has been one of his biggest concerns. Beyond China and Russia, Laschet has said that Germany is not the passive geopolitical player the U.S. and other powers often complain about. Yeah, Germany has a fair amount of strength, yeah. Been involved in the stabilization is one thing, yeah, of Afghanistan for years with many thousands of soldiers. Okay. Domestic politics, like I said, I'm skipping down here. This is just a Politico article. As for extremism and terrorism, Laschet adopted a mantra of zero tolerance. 2016 terrorist attacks at a Berlin Christmas market, which revealed significant shortcomings when our interior minister started working. First of all, he drafted a situation report so we could find who's been causing trouble and how we're going to handle it. Economic policy. Positioned himself in the center on economics, but signaled a preference for fiscal caution, so slightly more right-wing, at least in these terms, yeah, over high public spending. Earlier this month, he told the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung that while he gets along with the Greens in his home state, he has been governing out of conviction with the pro-business Liberal Democrats, a party known for demanding low taxes and fiscal restraint. Climate change, let's see here. Now, the word climate appeared only once in a 10-point paper settling out the future, a good climate, entrepreneurial spirit, and innovation. I hate this type of thing. Oh, they only mention it this many times. That's kind of, yeah. Varian State Minister Marcus Suda, who leads the CSU and Spahn of CDU, both have outperformed Laschet in opinion polls in recent weeks. Some conservative politicians have suggested a decision on the CDU/CSU candidate for chancellor should be made after Easter. Others expected to come earlier. A couple of regional elections may help party chiefs make their decision, at least partly on the basis of how the CDU fares. Baden-Württemberg and Rhineland-Palatinate are both scheduled to head to the polls on March 14th, pandemic permitting. Okay. So that's just, I wanted to read a little bit about that. But I think there is a lot of this fetishism for various countries. Same thing with China. Like I say, that obviously the gray zone has made an issue of being a contrarian. I think that they produce good stuff, but I think that it's important that there's a time when Max Blumenthal actually approved of intervention in Syria, and then he went back on his word and was like, "Well, now I like Syria and I've been to Syria and Assad is, you know, good and OPCW." So take it all with a grain of salt. Same thing with China. And look, China has done some fairly positive things, but I think that there are issues to look at beyond that. I'm going to be very careful with my words because obviously I want to be very careful not to create more of a yellow peril situation that already exists. I think China has a lot of very positive issues, but I think that we have to be aware that they're going to do what's best for their nation, and we have to find out what we can do what's best for our nation. I'm speaking for, the Americans in the audience. For everyone else, it's just like, well, you're going to have to do what's best for Sweden or do what's best for, I think, Green Juche. I'm so sorry. I know you're going to be like, bruh, I told you. I'm going to say Argentina is the country you're from. I know, I'm sorry. You're going to be like, bruh, please don't do that. We talked about this, I think, hold on. Let me make sure here. Let me make sure I'm in here. There's a guy I was looking for. Bernardo O'Higgins. Okay, here it is. Because I know that you told me about that. I try not to make a fool of myself. Chile. Okay. All right. I'm like, okay. Oh, I just want to make sure. Okay, it was Chile. Yeah, Bernardo O'Higgins. I didn't forget about what you said, Green Juche. I hope you do hear this, because I didn't forget about that. But yeah, Bernardo O'Higgins. What an yeah, but yeah, from Chile. So, anyways, I think that's about all I have to say. Like I say, it's just important to, I think it's very easy for anyone that's on the far left and the far right. I hate using those terms, but they serve the purpose for now. Your MLs, your so-called Wignats, your libertarians don't really do that, but anarchists to a point, and all those types of folks. It's a tend to fetishize China and say, well, China's going to be better or Russia's going to be better. It's like, well, it's not. Like I say, the system sucks as it is, but it's like you can't guarantee that you're going to fare much better under somebody else than how you fare right now. I don't know. Like I say, it's just, I guess that's just me being cautious, but I hope you all enjoyed that. See you later and goodbye. All right. That's all done.